So you're actually a professional cosplayer? How did you actually get started into that business?
I don't know if professional, I mean somewhat.
Okay.
If I'm appearing here, I still consider it a hobby for me. But,
Okay.
But getting into that realm, I kind of just did it as a hobby. I made my first costume was a Batman costume, a lot different than this, and I made it for a Halloween costume. And kind of just proceeded from there. I mean, definitely took baby steps, escalating to the level it got to.
Now, I would like to ask a lot of questions about how you actually got the suit, because the cowl is pitch perfect. Granted, it looks like you can't turn your head like the Dark Knight suit. That must be really uncomfortable.
It is. I do the Dark Knight one too, so it's kind of a toss-up depending on what I want to wear. But this one's a different version. You don't see the Arkham City version a lot. A friend of mine, actually, Sean Reeves, sculpts Batman cowls. He's known for doing that. And so his work, I enjoy the way it looks. I mean, there's a bunch of people out there who do Arkham cowls in that same style, but he just nailed it, and it fits my head perfectly. I have a pretty big head, so getting my dome in here is one.
I did notice the gauntlets, and that made me think it was Arkham City.
Yeah, the larger style gauntlets. These are actually the Arkham Asylum gauntlets. The Arkham City ones are a little different, where they have this other a top piece on it. So a little slightly different, little modifications.
Are you a fan of the games as well?
Oh yeah, I play those. She rags on me all the time. I play those constantly.
Do you always do the signature Batman turn?
With this, yeah. I mean, sometimes, and with this type of cowl, like sometimes so you gotta kind of be aware of your environment a little bit, like when I'm posing and stuff. And I still screw up. I mean, it'll bend and crease, but I try to do the best I can to do that. Yeah, it's kind of like the '89 turn, Keaton did all the time.
And Nicole was actually telling me that you guys were actually doing stunt shows for movies. Is that the case?
Well, we did actually for a movie premiere. A different cinema up in Massachusetts asked us to come through and do. Somebody had told them that I did Batman, so they asked us to arrange a stunt show, which I had never done before. So kind of had to choreograph it with a buddy of mine who has some fight experience. I'm not going to say it didn't go off without a hitch. Swear to me.
I understand you're actually a professional cosplayer. How long have you actually been doing that?
I've been doing it for 2 years. I started in May 2011.
All right, and what actually got you inspired to do so?
I've always loved arts and crafts. I've always been very artistic. I also love comic books, movies, video games, the whole geek world, if you can call it that. I went to my first convention in 2010. That's when I saw cosplay, put art and your love for comics and those characters together, and I just fell in love with it right away.
I can understand. Now, were there any characters that you were particularly drawn to at first?
My first was Baby Doll from Sucker Punch. I had recently seen the movie. I love the character. She's a very strong character, and that was my first costume.
And quite a different array of plenty of different costumes. I can see Spider-Girl, I can see Black Canary.
Yes.
And do you make all those costumes yourself?
I do. The only one I did not make is the Spider-Man suit. I just happened to wear that and became a hit. But I do make all my costumes, the armor and everything. I have about 25 costumes.
25 just on hand, ready to be used?
Some of them have been retired.
Oh.
So.
All right, now which are some of the ones that have been retired?
Some have pretty much fallen apart. I've done an Ivy, I have a Rogue, there's a huge list of costumes that I may bring back at another time if I redo them. I did redo Ivy, I have a new design I'm debuting tomorrow. I would like to start doing costumes before the movie or video game comes out, just to jump on that before other people do it.
Before it becomes a thing?
It becomes a trend, some of them do. So I know Bane, especially with males, it became a trend. But
This gentleman actually went in costume, so you're not. Which of the comic book movies were you most looking forward to seeing this summer?
Probably Superman. I like to see what they're going to do with that. I am not always a big fan of the comic book movies because I fell in love with
the arts and crafts side?
The characters in the comic books, and when they translate to the movies, they don't portray them exactly the same way as the books. I mean, it's the same with books to movies anyway. But go into it as it being something entertaining, not necessarily, exact from the comic book. So.
Understandable. So you take some liberties with your own design?
Yeah, I do a lot of my own takes on things, like Bane did not dress like this, and the vest, I looked at it as, what would Bane look like if he were drawn by a comic book artist? What would he look like as a female? And I love doing that. Like, my Red Sonja is my own design and everything like that. I love being able to put my own take on things.
Cosplaying as Ezio Auditore from the game series Assassin's Creed.
Okay. And how did you actually get started into doing cosplay?
Actually, this is my first time doing it, like, ever. This was probably the second comic book type convention that I've been to, and it just seemed like people had a lot more fun whenever they were dressing up.
Okay.
So I wanted to try it.
And what actually brought you to do Ezio for number 2?
I was actually debating on a bunch of different ones. Harley Quinn, Batgirl, Katana from Mortal Kombat, and then this one. And this one just popped out to me.
Did you also make the costume yourself?
I did half and half. Most of it I ordered from a website. I can't remember the name, but I ordered a lot of it from the website. And then I got different pants and different shoes.
Which of the comic book movies or anything like that are you most looking forward to this summer?
That Man of Steel one. I'm a big DC fan, more than Marvel. I like DC a lot.
Okay.
And
my kind of girl.
yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about them making a Justice League movie, and I'm really hoping that pulls through, because the Avengers movie was really good. So I'm hoping that DC can kick it back with the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Push
it, and then it comes
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So now, what actually got you into doing cosplay?
I mostly saw stuff online on like Tumblr, and my friends and I are all really nerdy, so I wanted to show my fandom, like, nerdiness.
Okay. Now, were there any characters that you wanted to be right off the bat?
Not specifically. I actually did Stephanie Brown Batgirl first, because I actually have long blonde hair. So
you actually dyed it for your costume?
This is a wig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice wig.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
Oh, thank you.
Is Black Widow one of your favorite characters?
Yeah, she's really awesome. I like to play or cosplay as strong female characters.
That's awesome. So you're a fan of Joss Whedon, I assume?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which of the comic book movies this year are you most looking forward to?
I'm actually really looking forward to Thor 2. I can't remember any of the other ones. I'm looking forward to Superman. I know Star Trek isn't a comic book, but
They've had comic books of it, so
it's amazing.
It counts for us.
And I'm really excited for Iron Man 3, which I haven't seen yet, but it's gonna happen.
Are you a Marvel or a DC?
Oh, it depends. I'm not one or the other, although I prefer the Marvel movies. I'm not really happy with like what DC has done with their life. They killed off Stephanie Brown, sort of. She just sort of,
With the new 50s.
yeah, she just disappeared, which is really irritating.
Did you actually first get into cosplay?
It's about 3 years ago. I just decided to make a Huntress costume, and
All right, so the Huntress costume was your first one?
yes,
All right, and you made that one as well?
I did.
Okay, and did you make this one?
I did make this one too.
All right, and you're doing Black Canary.
Yes.
So, earlier we actually saw a female Bane. Like, have you always done like the strong female characters?
No, I just kind of, I'm a bird lover, so I go with the birds of prey. So Huntress, Black Canary, and my next will probably be
Well, you
Oracle.
can't go wrong with that book. Gail Simone is a genius and an absolutely great PETA writer. I was really angry with DC, but then I was glad that the fans brought her back.
Oh, yeah. My favorite character is Huntress, so that's why I go with
Huntress
that.
is a great character. Okay. Underrated, but I like that she's gotten more press in the last few years.
Wasn't there a show called Birds of Prey?
There was,
was.
but it only lasted about one season.
I bought that too.
Well, I actually haven't gotten to see it yet.
Really? I actually liked it, and then I cut it off.
What do you like most about Black Canary?
I like her name, and I like the way her personality, the way she is, and
A little bit more playful and less serious than, say, Oracle or Helena?
pretty much. Took words out of my mouth.
Which of the comic book movies or nerd movies are you actually most excited for this year?
This year, Superman. DC all the way.
That's 4.
Right up here.